Hey there, fellow minorities. Welcome back once again to e-commerce for minorities. If you watched the previous video, then you already know where we're at and what we are talking about. If you haven't, please go back and check out the playlist so you can follow along properly. And as always, don't forget to drop your questions, likes, comments, and subscribe so you don't miss the next videos when we put them out. Because we're a lot we're doing on this business channel and a lot to unpack. Now, without wasting your time, here is reason number 2 why you should not start a business right now or ever, if I'm being completely honest. Do not start a business if you're broke or insolvent. Yes, I said it. If you're currently going through a difficult financial period, starting a business is not the solution at all. It sounds obvious, doesn't it? But you'd be surprised how many people only start thinking about starting a business when they fall on hard times. And what do? 99% of the time, they reach out to friends and family asking for money to start something, right? It's always to start something. But here's the problem. People in this situation usually miss 3 critical points. First, they sound desperate. You can hear it in their voices. You can see it in their faces, in their messages. Pure desperation. And desperation has nothing to do with success. In fact, it's often a major reason for failure. Okay, you're not thinking clearly and you don't have enough information on what you're going to do. Most times, you don't even have the experience or expertise in what you're trying to start. You're trying to solve an urgent financial problem, not build a real business. And people fail to separate those two things. Ask them for specifics, and you hear things like, if I have some money, or if you give me this amount. Then what you usually get is suddenly they'll list 3 to 5 different business ideas they want to try. That right there is a red flag. The second issue is confusion between financial help and investment. Listen, if you come to me and say you're struggling financially, I would see helping you as a favor. But the moment you bring business into that conversation, I will naturally start evaluating you differently. Now I'm asking questions like, what are the chances this person succeeds? Do they understand the business they want to venture into? What is their experience level, their level of education, their training, their skill set or their skills level? Because most of the time, you're asking for money to start something you don't fully understand. And that's a major problem. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're a mechanic, a tailor, or even a laptop repair or laptop repair technician, and you've worked for someone for even 6 months, I am more likely to support you. But if you just finished learning and haven't worked anywhere yet, it's an entirely different story. And this is what people don't understand. Even if you're a graduate, let's say a graduate of medicine or pharmacy, but you've never worked in a hospital or a pharmaceutical company before, I will still hesitate to support you because this isn't just about formal education, it's about real world experience. Listen, I hear it all the time. I just finished learning tailoring, send me money so I can start my own business. And here's what I will always say, whoa, slow down, right? You trained for 6 months. Do you really think that's enough to understand how to run a successful tailoring business? Then there are also older adults, even retirees, asking for money to start something. Okay, I recently had this encounter with someone in their 70s who approached me with a similar business idea. It's usually a one-off idea to make quick money in an area they don't understand. And when someone wants to start a business but doesn't even understand basic tools like, email, website, or social media, that's a major warning sign. You can't use email, you don't have a computer, you don't have a phone you can browse on. Now let's be honest. If you're asking for business money while also talking about your rent, your kids' school fees, hospital bills, and daily expenses, the problem is clear. And if that's you watching me right now, yes, you, my advice is simple. Do not start a business. even if you somehow get the money. Because even if you find the funds, you would approach the business like a hammer approaches every problem, like a nail. You use the business to try to fix your immediate financial pressure. But listen, those pressures like rent, your loans that you owe, your bills, they don't go away. They keep piling up. And business takes time. Time to start, time to grow, time to become profitable. You don't have that time when you're under immense financial stress. So what happens? You realize you're not in business to build something long term. You're just trying to survive. And that leads to collapse of whatever you started. Now let me share a story that is a perfect, at least a near perfect illustration of trying to start a business when you're under immense financial pressure. This one is actually funny, looking back now. I was quite young when my father lost his job. I would argue he was probably in his 50s at the time. And out of desperation, he decided to start a supply business. And this is where it gets interesting. He went and bought rain boots. If you grew up in Nigeria, especially in the southeast of Nigeria, you know those knee-high rubber boots that are black and their soles are usually brown. But here is the funny part. All the boots he bought were left legs. I'm not joking. And seriously, I'm not making this up. If, for example, he bought 30 pairs, that should be 30 left and 30 right legs, correct? But no, he had 60 left boots. That's where I got the joke from, that I will usually say to my daughter, go with your 2 left legs, Joe. Now we laugh about it today, but at the time it was a serious business failure. And after that, I don't recall my father ever tried another business ever again. I can tell you many more stories like this across the different ages and backgrounds, even including myself. But in over 50 years of life, I've never personally seen someone go from being completely broke, borrow money to start something completely new, and become financially successful.
I have got it! I am going to be rich! It is called Malaria Fever Dream Limited. I am swimming in pure gold! Oh no, it was just a beautiful dream.
These are fairy tales you hear about in stories, you see it on YouTube, but real life is different. Now, if you do have a real life example of that kind of success, I'd genuinely like to hear it, and I'm sure people watching this video would also want to hear it. Share it in the comments, and we might even feature your story. And if you have a funny business failure story like my father's 2 left legs, feel free to share too. Let's learn and laugh together. Now, if you want to catch up on previous videos, please watch the entire playlist or the first video here to my right, or this one talking about reasons why you should not start a business in America for immigration purposes. Thanks for watching, and catch you all in the next one. Bye.